So our next step is to elaborate on this exercise. We're going to get a little bit more complicated. I'm going to show you a little bit more of a complex system. And with this, you're going to truly understand what it means to construct, deconstruct, and reconstruct geometry in many different ways. So think of this as like an assembly, right? We sort of have to craft individual pieces of this exercise kind of as different systems, I guess you could say. So to look at it a little bit more dynamically, I mean, these are, unfortunately, the Grasshopper geometry doesn't really show shadows well. Maybe I can do something real fast with these. Let's do bake. And let's look at it shaded. Okay. Yeah. So Grasshopper doesn't really do shadow at all. Not even well. It just doesn't do it at all. So I just wanted to show you this a little bit more here. But you can see that it's a pretty dynamic system. It's actually really deep. It's not perfect. You know, there are holes in it that I need to fix and stuff like that. But the point is you're going to understand how to create dynamic sunshade elements like this, how to do that using extrusions and subtractions, how to reconstruct elements like this that are you know, you're going to use offsets and domain reductions and reconstructions by isolating points. And then, you know, they're all going to be mapped to a dynamic system. So, for instance, this panel is smaller than that panel. Okay, and all of that's happening with the touch of a button, right? It's all one scripting definition, which is really the power of Grasshopper. And I have the full flexibility of being able to change any of these features at any given time. Let me go back to, actually, let me just, yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. So with this definition, just to give you a preview of it, I suppose, I can change the range of subdivisions to be whatever I need it to be. If I want it to be a 0.1 to 0.9, I can change it that way. I can add a new range for the other direction, which I guess would be this one right here. And all of that is completely dynamic. I can do the same thing up here, and I can change how many subdivisions I create. So that this might break it, actually. There's a hole in my definition, but might take a moment. Okay, so it's a pretty dynamic definition, and I think you're going to enjoy making it. Now, that's the hole in my definition, is that down the bottom with that range that I created, the range only went so far. So it got to this point, and then it just kept recreating it all the way over to there. So some of you probably caught that. Anyway, what questions do you have before we actually get started? None? All right, so we're going to do this entire definition tonight. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna do it over. We're gonna do it over the. No, we're gonna have this done by Thursday. Thursday. Yeah. So really, what I want to tackle with you today is this part right here, and it's pretty simple. Let me see where I want to take us actually. That's the list items, surface 4 points. Yeah, that's what I want to tackle. It's just this one right here. Okay, so let me go back to where this was. Number of subdivisions needs to go back. That was a 5, I believe. Okay, then we'll get started.